Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about making tables. Alright, so tables, we use these all the time to present data within web pages. So basically, if you do anything in Excel or Word or anything like that where you're creating tables, you can do the same thing in HTML. So let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit. Alright, here's how we create a table. First thing we do is we type in what's called a table tag. Okay? You have an open tag and a close tag. Inside your table, you have rows and data. Okay? So, for example, let's say I want to do one row, okay, with 3 cells in it. It's TR, and then do a closing TR tag. This is my first row. I have 3 different fields or cells within the table here, within this row. That's the TD tag, and then close TD. I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it twice. Oops. Okay. Then I'm going to give it some values. In this case, I'm going to say Jill Smith and 50. That's my first row. Repeat the process basically for my second and third rows, or in this case, just 2 rows. Give it a different name. Alright, here's what I'm going to see when I look at this table. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Okay, and what I'll see is I have 2 entries here, or 2 rows. The cells within each is Jill Smith 50 on the first row, Eve Jackson 94 on the second one. Okay? Alright. Now, let's say I want to give this table a border. Okay? If I don't specify a border to be displayed, it won't. Okay? So I need to do this. The first thing I want to do is up here in the table section, my open table tag, is I want to go ahead and set the width here to 100%. So it'll take up the whole page. Okay, that's what I want. And I want to set a border around it, so how I do that is I just type in border equals 1. Okay, now I have a border around every stinking cell in that table and the table itself. But the other way that we can do it too is by using the CSS border property, and that's actually probably a better way to do it. And here's how you would do that. Okay. If I'm going to do inline or internal, because I'm feeling kind of lazy, I don't want to create an external style sheet for this because it's only one page. I'm just going to say table TD is should be just border 1 pixel solid black. Okay, and then I just remove this border. Okay. So again, table THTD border 1 pixel solid black. And this is what I'll see. So that's just kind of a cleaner way to do it. Now let's say I want to collapse borders. So if I want the borders to collapse into one border, I just add a CSS border collapse. So if I go back to my CSS file, or to my heading up here, internal style sheet, I just say border collapse. And then it's collapse. Okay, and all that does is just cleans up our borders a little bit. Alright, now, one thing I'm running into with this is that my padding really stinks. You see that the border is pretty much right up against my text, and I really don't want that. So one of the ways to get rid of that is this. I just want padding around my text, and that's it, not around the actual table itself. So I just say TH and TD. I want those guys to have padding of, let's say, 5 pixels. Let's go with 15 pixels, why not? Let's clean up this other stuff too while we're at it. Okay, you'll see that I'm getting better here because I have more padding around this. Okay, just kind of cleaning things up here a little bit. Alright, right now, my table doesn't really mean anything because it doesn't have any headings. The easiest way to do headings is, here we go. Alright, I want to put a heading up at on that first row. So I type in tr and do a closing tr tag afterwards. And then th for table heading. I have 3 table headings, okay, because I have Jill, Smith, and 50. I don't know what that means right now. So in my th tags here, I'm assuming that it's my first name, my last name, and we'll just say points. It doesn't really matter what this is for at this point. And what you'll see is it says first name, last name, and points, and by default, th is centered. Anything inside those th tags. Okay. Now, let's say I want my table heading to be sent to the left. The easiest way to do that is just to enter th specifically. I want a CSS rule for text aligned to the left. Okay, super easy. And what that'll do is that'll just push stuff to the left. It just makes it look nicer. Alright, now let's say we have, I want some border spacing here for my table. So the border spacing specifies the space between cells. To set the border spacing for a table, use the CSS border spacing property. So here, for example, underneath table only. I want my border spacing to be 5 pixels. It just gives me some extra spacing. Okay. Let's check precedence here real quick. Shouldn't make any difference. No. Okay. Okay. So all that does is that just sets to make sure that I have at least five spaces between or 5 pixels, sorry, between each cells. Now, if that table has collapsed borders, you're not going to be able to see it. So let's look at table cells that span more than one columns. What we can do is to make that cell span more than one column, we use what's called the colspan attribute, COLSPAN. Alright, let's go ahead and create a new table. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to copy all my code, and I'm going to create a new file called colspan. Save. And I'm just going to create something here that says that we have one person that has 2 phone numbers. Here's how we would do it. Type in our first one would be our table row. Table heading would be our name. And the next thing would be call span, C-O-L or T-H, call span equals 2 because it needs to span 2 columns. And we're going to say telephone. Okay. And then there's no need for that third one there. All right. Next, on the next line down, though, we do have 3 different phone numbers. And I'm just going to put this in. And I'm putting in 3 different phone numbers so we don't get confused. Okay. Let's go check a look at this one. File, open, call span. All right. Oops. You need to have somebody's name in that first row or first column. All right. So what we have is 2 separate rows. The first one is a table heading, so it's in bold. The second column, or second row, sorry, has 3 columns in it. Okay. This top one does too, but that second row spans, or that second heading spans 2 columns. So this is what you see. See how it's a little big? And this one is only 1 column. Okay, so now let's say that table, one that we just did, spans several columns. So what if we want to span several rows? Then we just use what's called a row span attribute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and do another table. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save a copy of this file that we're currently working on, and I'm going to call this one row span. Okay. And instead, I'm just going to change a little bit of data in here, the way that this is structured. So let's see. I have 3 rows, and I want to do a telephone here again. All right. First row, 2 columns, name, and that's it. Okay. So let's see, TH, my name, and then I have TD Bill Gates. Okay. And then I have a new row, and I'm going to also do another TH, and this one is going to be row span is 2. And I'm just going to say telephone. Then we're going to say 5551212 here for this telephone number. Okay. And then we're going to put in one more number underneath there. So I'm going to copy my table, my row here, and do that, and then just change that to 1213. Just verify that that is correct. We don't need that heading though. All right, let's save this and see how it looks. Okay, so here's what we have. We have Bill Gates and his telephone. He has 2 phone numbers. Okay, so that is how you do a table rows. Now let's say I want to do a caption here. Okay, let me go ahead and create a new file. We're going to save this one off. And we're going to call this one caption. And let's go ahead and delete all that stuff inside the table. We don't need that for now. Okay. Let's go open caption. Okay. Right one here. All right, so caption. Delete everything within the table. Okay, new table, and we're going to say caption. And we're going to type in monthly savings. New row. Inside that row, first thing is a table heading called month. Then a new cell called, or I'm sorry, another heading called savings. New row, and this one should have 2 values. This is for January. And the value, which is $100. February for that second one. And $50. Okay, let's go take a look. Let's see, file open, caption. At the very top, you'll see something there called monthly savings. So that's pretty much it for tables. The big thing that you need to remember is that you can do column spans, row spans, you can set up borders, you can get rid of borders, there's all kinds of stuff there. What I would do is refer to the tutorial link and read through that, play around with the code, play around with some of the different styling. That'll give you a quick run through of exactly what we're looking at doing here. And as always, if you have any questions, just let me know.